on. Hey, 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 what's up, everybody? How's it going? Hope everybody's doing good. My name's Tony, this is Red Cyber Dragon. It is 6:02 a.m. here on the beautiful East Coast of the United States. And it is 2 fucking degrees centigrade outside. Too damn cold. Anyways, welcome. If you've been here before, you know that I've been on a Final Fantasy VII kick. I'm taking a break from that. I wanna actually code today. I wanna develop the game. I'll show you our progress. Maybe we'll try to make some videos for the channel. I want to start putting out more organized content, like more planned content. I'm just afraid to try that because I'm scared it won't work. But you know, I just gotta jump in. I just gotta do it. That's what I did with streaming, and I've been streaming it almost every day for the past month or so. And it gets easier once you just do it. So yeah, I'll have to start planning and writing out scripts and stuff like that, I guess. So yeah. And other news, it's been spring break this week, so my kid has been off from school. He's been off from school, so it's been kind of crazy around here because I got a little girl and I had the little boy. They both just crazy little kids, and it makes me tired. But I've been doing better, like going to bed earlier and getting up earlier, and I feel like I function much better when I'm doing that kind of schedule. Alright, so let me show you some of the stuff I've done. I've been working a lot on the game, just off stream. So if we take a look here, I actually implemented the level map. Or level select screen. So if we play this, you can see we have World 1, World 2, World 3. It's like a progression map thing. This icon is just a placeholder. I'll probably put the dragon there. And see if we can go straight to this level. And then we get to the end, and then it goes to the next one. This one looks cooler. This one definitely looks cooler than the first one. I think this game looks good. It is pre-made assets. I admit that, but I think they've been implemented correctly here. Look at that. Look at that. That's pretty. There's no level after this. Yeah, this looks sharp, man. I like this. Huh. Interesting. Whew. All right. So we implemented that. Other than that, I don't think I really did anything. I think what I want to do is go to the level... Well, first, let's stop this. Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta turn this down. Okay, there we go. Oh, the light was bright in my eyes. Okay. What I want to do is in level script. I want it to load not next level. I want it to load excuse me. Next level. Okay, we'll do at export var level select. And that's a packed scene. Okay. And then we'll take level select. Put it here. And then what do we do? Yeah. Level select. So then this should load up our level select when we win the level. Blah blah blah. Ah! Oh fuck! I gotta fix that. Whatever the fuck that is, where the freaking Enemies come back to life for like a split second and can kill you. I need to fix whatever the hell that problem is. Okay. Right? That's what we want. Then we can go World 2. Yeah, it's still, we don't have that many levels, so it still just loads the first level. But that's what we want, right? We have the idea, basically. So I want to figure out this problem. Blah. You see that? How he comes back to life? Okay, and that crashes. Reload current scene. That seems easy to fix. But yeah, I really want to know what the heck that thing is where they can come back to life. And this occasionally fails. Sometimes it doesn't. Let's see, does it fail every time I get hit by an arrow? Arr! No. Blah, blah. Yeah, what the fuck is that, dude? What is that? How does he come back to life and shoot another arrow at me? This is crazy. We gotta figure that out. That's so hard to debug, dude. Alright, let's go look at enemy. The enemy script. Because they both do this. Let's try this. Does it happen when this happens? Interesting. So maybe that was the problem. God damn, dude. We figured that out way faster than I thought. Hold up. Nope. False alarm. God damn it. Shit. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold up. I think the Archer has a different script. Okay. Hold on. Alright, so just for argument's sake. Do 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 do. I think that fixes it, but the problem is... Yeah, that fixes the problem, but... Handle enemy's body enters another body. I just don't see how any of this means it can come back to life and attack you again. So its attack... But none of this should be true of active. And we immediately change active to false. So I just don't understand why... doing an await causes that problem where they come back to life and kill you. Because that sucks. Because it's like you win the fight but you still lose. Right? That's detrimental. That's a big problem. But I just don't understand how that's happening. I guess until I figure it out, this is how it has to be, because again, that's detrimental to gameplay, right? Let's see. Let's use a new tool I have. So this is called GPT for All. It's pretty cool. It's a you can basically use ChatGPT for free, and it's all running locally on your desktop. So that's pretty cool. Let's ask it. How do I prevent a node in Godot 4? Yeah, I don't even know how to ask this question, right? It's so hard to even know how to ask the question. Also, I think there might be a better model. I forget how to pick new models. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to dwell on this too much. Like, I feel like spending too much time on it will distract from the overall project. Like, at the end of the day, it's not that important, I guess. I'm already trying to think of ways I can get around this. For instance, I could... This seems so crazy. But I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't know how to ask for help for this. It's sort of like a hard problem to explain. I guess I'll put the clip up on TikTok and YouTube. And maybe some other people can weigh in on what the problem is. You know, I think I got a pretty good clip earlier of it, so maybe somebody out there can help me figure out what's wrong. Or what to check. You probably can't tell just by looking at the game. You need to see the code too, but just point me in the right direction. But I'm already thinking of ways around this, like I could have a whole other node to show the enemy's death, right? And that node does nothing but just play an animation. That way it can't affect the player. And then we can just queue free them here. That seems like a big workaround that a lot of things could go wrong in. And I'd rather just figure out what the fuck is happening. But I don't really know what else to do. Oh, let's try this. In Godot, for my enemy keeps coming back to life and killing the player. Let's see what it has to say. Seems pretty generic. If you're experiencing an issue in Godot version 4, it could be due to a few reasons. Here's some possible solutions. Enemy respawning code. Make sure your enemy node doesn't have any script or function. Resets its position after being destroyed. No, I don't think there's anything like that. Verify you have any nodes in the scene tree, especially children of the enemy node, which might be responsible for respawning the enemy. For example, respawn point node could present that brings the enemy back to life when it reaches this point. What is the children? We're gonna go after its children. I'm going after this archer's children. No, just the nodes. Just the nodes. Could it be this timer? This is the timer that dictates how many arrows they can shoot at you. I think it might actually be this timer. Yeah. Yep, that's what it is. It's I don't know if it's technically a race condition. Not really, because I don't think any data is getting corrupted, but basically it's like it's a crapshoot whether or not awaiting this gets the queue free before this burns out and sets it back to active being true and is able to shoot you. Oh my god, we figured it out. Holy fuck. That was awesome. I think we figured it out. I mean, we'll find out in a minute, right? But holy crap. I think that's it. I think that's what it is. Hey, what's up? Caribou? Oh, caribou? That's funny. Oh man, I can't believe we figured that out. I'm either gonna feel awesome in a second, or I'm gonna feel like a dick. Alright, so I will do the peanut butter jelly time if we figure this out right. Okay, so what do we need to do? Basically, we need to add some kind of condition here so that if when the enemy gets hit, we kill this timer. Can we use this signal? I don't know. If not enemy hit. I don't know. Let's try this. Maybe this will work. Okay. It looks like that worked. But let's try it again. Just to make sure. I'm pretty sure that worked. I was like 50% sure a minute ago. Now I'm more like 70% sure. Which type of platform is this one? What do you mean? It's like, I mean, there's gonna be like puzzles, I guess. It might be a time trial. I'm not exactly sure. My partner, Rob, is really the one who is going to be doing more of the level design. I'm just trying to make shit work. Yeah. I need some kind of scene transition. Maybe every time this loads. Maybe every time this scene loads, it can show a splash of like it can show a loading screen. Oh, thanks for following. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. So, anyways, now I'm like 90% sure that worked. Let's try it one more time just to make sure. Ah, he shot an arrow at me. Blah. Oh my god, we figured it out. Thank God. Holy crap, you guys. I can't believe that just being on stream and talking about it helped me figure it out. That was a big problem. It kept happening too. Okay. So we need to do the same thing here. There's no timer here, though. We'll just do if not enemy hit. Only attack if the enemy hasn't been hit. That makes sense, right? Because everything's a one-hit kill, at least for now. These enemies are one-hit kills. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Oi. I keep getting killed. My game is too hard. Okay, I need to fix that. Could you help me with a small program? I'm a beginner of Python language. Sure. What's going on? Okay, that's another problem. Because every time, if I just run into the enemy, okay. Yes. I think. I thought we had a Discord command. Hold on. We have a server. And then under topics, do you see programming den? You can post it there, and I'll look at it on stream. Cool. Hello everyone who's here. If you're new here, I'm Tony. This is Red Cyber Dragon. It's the name of my channel and me and my friends' new studio. I'm a software engineer, and I just kind of got started in making games. I like Godot. Alright, what's up here? Alright, hang on, I want to bring up the picture on stream. Okay. Okay. Can everybody see it okay? Alright. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So films, you got a dictionary of films, and the key is a string. It's a movie, and the value is a list of integers. Okay. And then you've got a while loop. Endless while loop. Okay. Choice. Input. Which type of movie do you want to watch? Dot strip dot title. Okay. If choice in films, age equals input, how are you? Strip. Check user age. If age is greater than film's choice 0, okay. Num seats films equals choice 1. If number of seats is greater than 0, print enjoy the film. Else print sorry we're sold out. Okay, this is ticket machine. Got it. Cool. So line 14. Oh man, I gotta count lines. If age is greater than films. Okay. If age is greater than film's choice 0. Greater than equal to not supported instances of string and int. Okay. So that means we're trying to compare a string, which is, letters and numbers, to a number. Right? That's what that means. So age. Okay, I see the problem. So I want to try to explain this in a way so that you can see what the problem is. So you see the type error is greater than or equal to not supported between instances of str and integer. Right? So you can't compare words to a number. Even if, or you can't compare a string to a number, right? Even if that string is a number. You see what I'm saying? So if we're looking at your code here, we say if age is greater than or equal to film's choice 0. One of those is a number and one of those is a string. Can you figure out which one is a string? Do you know which one is a string? Ah, it would. But when you use input, what type of object does it return? When you're asking them their age, and they put in 10. Is that going to make the age variable a string, or does it make it a integer? Actually, okay, let's run this. Can you copy the text into the Discord if you didn't already? Yeah, can you copy the code directly into the Discord? Because I'll try to run it. Okay, thanks. 1 second. Whatever. Copilot never listens when I disable it. I have to uninstall it to get it to stop doing stuff. It's crazy. Alright, so let's save this. Alright, let me grab this. Okay. So, when we get input for age, all right, after we do that, here's what we'll do. We'll print. This is how you can tell the type of a variable. Okay? Print, or this is how I do it. I'm sure there's an easier way, but this is how I do it. Okay? We can print what the type of age is, right? So, here's the thing. The errors like this are really common, right? I get this all the time. So, because Python is not like a type-safe language, right? You don't declare the type before the variable. So, but it's still important. So, you can do something called typecasting, which we're going to do here in a second. But let's run this and see what happens. Which type of movie do you want to watch? I'm supposed to type in the name of the movie, right? Alright, so this is how old are you? I put 32. And I hit enter. Okay. You see here? Can you see that? So, the class is a string. And in order to use greater than or equals, we need a float or an integer, right? So what do? Well, what we do is we do age equals str age. Or no, sorry, not str. Int. My bad. Int. Okay, that's called typecasting. Yeah. So when you get something like this, like a type error, that means one of the things you're like, it's expecting one type and getting another type. So that's what that means. So let's try it again. Let's run it. What type of movie do you want to watch? Finding Dory. How old are you? 12. There we go. Enjoy the film. Okay, so it's a small change. It's just this right here. Cast to correct type. Yeah, no problem. Hope that made it clear. I know stuff like this can get confusing. Cool. All right, so we were trying to figure out what to do when the player collides with the enemy and still dies. I'm not sure if I like that. So we need to do something in their death that deactivates them while they're dying. If body equals player. Okay, so something here. Basically, on body entered. You know what? I don't even know if this function is even necessary, because with this, it should attack when it's in range. So maybe if we just disconnect the signal. Alright, this song freaks me out. Okay, so let's try this then. Huh. Wonder why it doesn't reload. Anyways. That's not good. Oh wait. Is this the same enemy? Yes. If enemy hit. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the sub. Gary Boo, I really appreciate that. Thank you. This is what makes me keep wanting to come back to software development on Twitch. Like, I think it's actually really cool. Like, like, I was, you know, streaming Final Fantasy just because I wanted to play that game, but like, yeah, not that many people were watching, understandably, because there's a ton of people streaming that. But software and game development, there's something for everybody, and there's always a niche, you know, I feel like. And the community's pretty supportive of each other, so I like that. So yeah. On body entered, if body equal player, active equals false, player hit emit, attack. Well, we disconnected that, right? So, no, we didn't. We didn't? I thought we did. It says we did. Disconnect. What a method. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I think maybe that fixed it. Yeah, that fixed it. Awesome. Okay. So we've fixed two major things, like with the enemies. So that's really cool. Oh, I'm so glad that Fossabot and the YouTube notification in the Discord's working again. Alright, that's awesome, guys. So we fixed two big things. What else? Oh, let's take a look at, not the level. Okay, that actually we don't need. Need this scene anymore. If we look at level select, or player icon, I want to change this. I don't know if I have a picture, a standalone picture of the dragon. Hang on. Oh, and try this. Okay, that's pretty good, right? Oops. I think it's better, right? I think it's gonna need a solid background. But in general, I think that's probably the right idea. Oh no, I hope I haven't been neglecting YouTube chat. Darn it! Ah, I'm sorry. YouTube, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to, it's just so hard to look at two chats. There's... okay. Hold on, I want to bring up YouTube. One second, guys. Sorry. Sorry, I want to go to the dashboard just to get a view of YouTube. Sometimes I don't even know when like there's a bunch of people watching on YouTube. So, anyways, yes, hello YouTube. I apologize. But I've got you up now. Continuing on. I want to figure out how to make this token like animate from one part to the next. So I had a video on that I was watching before, and I'll continue watching it. So let's pull that up. Maybe. Oh my god, I have no idea how to find this. Oh. I'll recognize this guy's channel when I see it. I just... coding quests, maybe?
Once a week, I'm going to challenge you with a small and simple task.
Yeah.
These
Um. It was a world. Where is it? Come on. Level. Dude, this guy has so many videos. Holy crap. Some of them don't even have that many views, but he's a really good content creator. Damn, dude. Okay. Coding. Come on. I had this video. Alright, maybe we'll work on something else. We look into save data. Save and load.
Hello, saving and loading are so important to any game you want to make, but in this video I'm going to create this step-by-step example with you. As you can see, we can change the health, we can move around, we can click save, then we can move around, and we can change the health again. Then when we click load, you can see that it takes us back to where we were, and we can do this over and over and over again. So in this tutorial, I wanted to go over everything there is to know about saving and loading, and how to exactly implement it into your own game. But quickly, before we get started, if you could please subscribe and drop a like on this video so YouTube can push this tutorial to more aspiring game developers, then it would mean the absolute world. But let's get started. Okay, so to get started with the game, basically what we have in the very first version is we have a little thing that has the health and has the current position. We can change these variables, right? So the health, if we click the save button and the load button, nothing works because we have no saving and loading. We just have this that updates based on where the player is at, and we have this that changes based on what buttons clicked, right? So I'll show you the code that we have set up currently, so then we can walk through and you can understand how the saving that we're going to implement is. So the player is very basic. We have a speed variable and a health variable. When we save, we're going to want to save these variables into a different script, right, which we'll create in a little bit. And the position of the player, we're also going to want to store in another script, and I'll show you how to transfer that over without having the player keep going back to that position over and over and over, right? So that's the hard part with that, but that's going to be super, super easy. It's only going to take like 2 lines of code if you do it right, and we'll go over that as well. So we basically have a physics process, which is gets the direction based on the input, and then we're going to create the desired velocity, speed times direction, and we're going to just move the player, right? So that's basic movement that you're going to have for any game.
Right.
And then we have these buttons, the buttons in the world, and these buttons send a signal from this control node, and this signal goes into the player, and this is right here. So basically this control node has a script, and if the plus button's clicked, then it's going to make the action variable a plus sign, and it's going to emit the signal, and it's going to emit that action. And if we click the minus, well, that same thing's going to happen. So then that's going to go into the player script. It's going to call this function, and we are going to have the action. So if the action is equal to a plus, then we're going to call the gain health function here, and we'll just change the health variable, and the action minus is going to take damage. So then we'll call the -5 function, right? And right here we emit a signal update UI, which is we're just going to output the health variable, and we're going to output the self.position, so the position of our player. And if we go into our player script, you can see that on this text, we're going to basically take the health and the player position that we just received from the player script, and we're going to just update our text live. So it's a very, very simple game that we have going on, and I'll have a link to this version and the finished version in the description on my itch.io page. So you can go and download that, so you can either download the first version and the after version, and you can download this version right here, the first version, and you can follow along with this tutorial so so you can understand exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, how everything works, and I'm going to explain everything as good as I can in this video. But now let's actually get started with adding the save and load system to the game. Okay, so first we're going to create a new script, which is where we're going to store all of our variables. So we can click File, New Script, and we can just create this to be the player data.gd, right? And we want this to extend a resource, because the way that we're going to be saving our stuff is going to be saving it inside of a resource, right? So we can say extends resource, and we're going to set a class name so we're able to access this script from our player and from other scripts and other nodes throughout the game, so we can update stats, because this is basically going to be where we store all of the player stats. So for example, this one in this example is not going to change, but we can have an export var speed. I want to just show you that anything that you want your player to have that could be changed, that you want to be changed based on different things, like if you have a potion, enchant, whatever it may be, right? Or the health, right? So a good example in this video is going to be the health, because that's going to be a changing variable. So obviously speed's not going to be changed, but we're going to keep it in this script, and it's going to be saved as 500 every single time unless we make a change to it, which we could do. But we can say var health, right? And I'll explain all this here better in just a minute. But if we have health equals to 100, and then let's say we want to also save the player's position, right? So we can say export var, and we can say var save position. So basically this is going to save wherever the last position the player was when we click save. So wherever we are on the map when we click save, that's the position it's going to store here. And right now we don't know, right? So it's going to be a vector 2. We're going to make sure that is a vector 2, and then we're going to want to call all of our functions in here. So let's say we want to make a change to the health. Well, we're going to work on that in the script. It's going to be called.
I think it's okay now, right?
So the player script right here in this take damage, we're going to call a
thanks, Cuber.
A line of code, which we'll go over here in a little bit once we create some variables so we can access it. But because we can't access it from this script now, but when we can access it, we'll call this function that we're about to create from that script. So we can say function change health, and this is going to make so much more sense when we walk through it at the end after we have everything else complete. And whatever value we input into the function is going to go in, and we're going to use that value to say health plus equals whatever the value is, so we can change this health variable, right? And then we're going to create another function to just update our save position. So we can say update position, and update position can be, we can just say the variable that we want to enter is a value, but we want this value to be a vector 2, right? Because we're going to be saving the player's position. And we can just say save position is equal to whatever the value is, right? So this is constantly updating. This will be constantly updating. But when we click load, we're going to update it to whatever we saved it as, right? And this update position here is only going to be called, or I mean, we're only going to load the save position. We're only going to set the player's dot position to equal save position whenever we load the game. So the moment we load the game, it will be equal to whatever we save the position as, right?
Right.
And this is going to make more sense when we go through it again, like I said. But so now we go back into our player script, and we're going to have some variables for where we store the data. So where are we going to want to store these variables here when the game is closed, or when we have, you know, we're playing it, but we want to keep that data somewhere, right? Well, we're going to want to create a path, and we'll do this in the player.gd, since this is going to be the player's save file, right? So when saving a game, you're going to want to have different variables or different file paths for each save that you want to have. So let's say you have a player save, an enemy save, this save, you know, you'll have different saves. So the very first var, which is going to be the same for every save, is going to be save file path, and that's going to be equal to the user. Make sure it's user, and whatever you want to call it, we'll just call it the save folder, right? Just like that. And that's going to be our path. That's going to be the same that you're going to use for every other thing that you have. So let's say you want to save for your enemy, that's going to be the file path. But you're going to want to have a separate thing that's going to be save file name, and this is going to be for that exact thing. So right here we're going to be saving the player stats, so we'll say player save dot tres, right? So that's going to be stored inside of here. And we'll add these together in a little bit based on, so it's modular and you can use this code wherever. And then we want to access the resource that we just created. So we'll say var player data. And we want player data to be equal to player data, which is the resource, and a new one. So we'll do this. And then we can remove these variables here. And we can now access, since we have this here, we can now access the variables we just created in the other script. So you can see that we have speed here. Well, in our player data, we have speed as well. It's called speed, but how would we access that? Well, we can just say here player data dot speed, and now we can save it just like that, right? But we have health here, which is going to be the exact same data dot health now. And then down here, how are we going to call that health function? Well, whenever we take damage, we're going to want to update our health function inside of our, well, let me show you how this works. So now it's not going to update, right? Because this is,
Okay, what do we got here? So save file path, save file name, right? Gravity. Okay, project settings. Take damage.
pulling the player data health variable, right? So, and the only reason this is giving us an error is because we do not have a variable health anymore, but we can say variable health equals to 100, right? So this here is pulling the variable from player data, which we never change, right? We never change that variable, so it's always going to be equal to 100. And it used to work, but now it's not going to work because here it was pulling this variable, but now this variable is no longer updating. So we need to call our player data, we need to call our player data function that we created over here, our change health function, and we can insert a value, whatever value we want it to be, and then we can update our health, and then we'll pull our health from there so we can update it so we can show what our health actually is, right? So
I think I
this is
understand.
how you access stats. This is how you're going to access every single stat in the game.
Yeah,
so if you want
that
to
makes
play
sense.
Speed, and you want to use that, then you're going to say player data.speed, and that's what you're going to do for every single thing.
What does that
Every
mean,
single stat
though?
You say you have to do
What does that mean,
player data
Cuber?
dot speed.
What does
And we'll go
mean?
over this later whenever we say player data dot position, when we get the save position when we load it, right? But so right here, obviously, if we're going to play the game, we can't play it in this scene. We have to be in the world so we can actually make a change to our health. But you can see that if we make a change to the health, it doesn't update because we're pulling. This is the official file that if we click save, is going to save this number. And the only reason that is because we're pulling it from here, right? Like I said, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
100 times I feel like, but
I did. I didn't. I watched it with the sound off, though. Hold on. I have to guard. Let me see. Ah, hang on. Wait. What the fuck? Okay. All right. That's harmless. What does minging mean, though? I still don't get that. All right. Here you go. Courtesy of Cuber.
I've just started this calypso. It is fucking minging. Paradise Punch Lemonade. It is fucking minging. Suck your dad. It's minging. It's fucking minging.
I guess it's funny because, like, she's so animated and crazy, you don't have any freaking clue whether minging means she likes the drink or not. But then it's later made clear by her throwing it and saying, suck your dad. Whatever the fuck that means. Yeah, apparently minging means undesirable. Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
let me show you how we do it. So we'd say player data dot whatever we want to call, which is going to be our change health function, and we can update a value. So we can say we want the value to be, take damage is going to be -5, right? And if we gain health, well, it's going to be the exact same, player data dot change health +5, just like that, right? And that's going to be how easy it is to change those functions. So now if we play, you're going to see that it's now going to update, but it's pulling it from our save file now. So we're going to be able to save that resource file and it's going to work how it should. So that's good. It updates now, it works. Okay, so now that we have that, we can have, or we haven't actually stored it. We've just accessed our resource folder and we've created the name and the path of where we want to save it, but we haven't actually saved it yet. So how are we going to create the save and load? Well, let's create a ready function first. And in this ready function, we're going to have a function. We're going to call another function, which we haven't created yet, which is basically where we're going to access the save path, where we're going to store it. Where is it actually going to happen? So we can say verify save directory, and we can say save file path, which is going to be the path that we want to save it at, right? Like up here, we want to save it here. So then we can say this, and then we're going to create a new function because we're going to get an error. But we can say save
function
directory. And I promise, if this is not making any sense at all right now and you don't understand exactly what I'm doing, well, it's going to make a lot more sense here once I explain it, once we have it fully complete. But we can say direct access dot make direct absolute, which is a Godot function, and path, right? So now we know where we're going to want to actually store it. How are we going to load and store the data? Well, to do this, I want to create two different functions. So we're going to have a load data function, right? So when we want to load the data, we're going to call this function. We're going to say player data, which is
junction.
well, so this is going to make a lot more sense. So this
or whatever it is,
the resource that we're pulling everything from, right? So we're pulling the health variable from, we're pulling the speed variable. So basically anything with player data dot that variable is going to update when we call this right here. It's going to update to what is in that script. So we can say, or what was saved in that script, right? So we can say resource loader, which is a very, very powerful Godot thing, is the resource loading and saving, which is what we're going over, right? So we can say path plus save file name, which is going to give us the exact area of where the information is located. Then we can say duplicate is equal to true, and we can just say print loaded, so we know that it has loaded. And this is going to make another function, which is going to be save, and when we save, it's going to be kind of the same. We just want resource saver this time dot save, and we want to say player data save file path plus save file name, just like that, and then we can print save. So if you look at these, this is going to be pretty self-explanatory, right? So we have resource saver, so we access the resource saver dot save. What are we going to save? Well, we're going to save this resource, right? So we're going to save the player data resource, which remember is all of these, right? So it's kind of lining up now. And where are we going to save it? Well, we're going to save it right here. Then when we want to load it, we're going to say player data, which is right here, right? Dot resource loader, or equals resource loader dot load whatever we have stored here, right? We just stored it here, so it's going to load what we just stored, and that's what's going to happen, right? So if we are to play it, we won't be able to really do anything because we don't have buttons to call these functions, and we're never calling these functions. So if we go here and we create a new function, which is going to be a process delta function, we can just say if input dot is action just pressed, whatever our buttons are. We'll go and create the save button here in just a second. We'll call the save function. If we say if input dot is action just pressed, the load data, or the load button, I guess we'll just call it the load button, then we can call the load data function, right? And then that's when we're going to want to emit this signal instead of emitting it up here. So we'll just update our UI because we want to update it every single frame. Obviously it's going to do the same up here. I just want to make sure that this is all for physics stuff and this is all for processing stuff. So that's the only reason I'm moving it down here, just for that reason.
Yeah, I don't think it makes
that
any
really
difference.
isn't anything to do with physics. This is all physics. This isn't physics. So I'm going to move it into the process function, right? Just to make everything a little bit more neat. And then
I think both
that
functions
is
literally do the same thing. It's just for differentiating between physics and other stuff.
for the health and the it's going to update the position still, but that's going to be how we save the health. Now if we go in and we play, the health is going to work. The health should theoretically work after we create these two action keys, right? So we'll go create that in the input map here in just a second, but that is going to work, except the position isn't going to work because we haven't save the position. We've never saved the position yet, and we never load the position back onto the player when we load the game, which we'll go and we'll do in a second by creating our own custom ready function whenever we load it. So it's going to basically be the function that's called only when we load the game. So it's like it gets everything ready the moment we load the game. So it's like basically it's basically a ready function. You know how a ready function is called when we start the game or when we first enter that scene. Well, this is going to be called when we load the game. So it's going to be like our own ready function. But if we go up here, project settings, input map, then we can say new input action, which is going to be load. And I'm going to make load L. And then we can say new action, which is going to be save. And I'm going to save K just because it's right next to it, just like that. Then we can close. We can play the world. We can move around. We can change up the health a little bit. If we clicked K, you can see in the output it prints save. We can move around. We can click, we can change the health back to 100, and then we can click load. You can see the health works. Or we can go down. We can click load. It goes back. We can go down. We can click save. We can go back, up. We can load. The health is working. But now, how would we do the position, right? So the position is going to be a little bit more complex, but it's also going to be very, very easy. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to, like I said, create that ready function, which we're going to do right here in the load data function. We're just going to say function, or under the load data, because it's going to be our own. We're going to say on start of load. So the moment we load in the game, we're going to call this function. We're just going to say the self dot position of player. So
I think I get what he's saying. I'm not going to be able to implement this right now on stream.
Whatever the save position is.
We'll keep watching it.
But how are we going to call the save position? How are we going to save the position that we want, right? When we want it. So basically, we're going to save this every single frame. We're going to change the position every single frame, but we're only going to tell the player to equal that position when we load it. So if we go up here to the process, we can just do it just like we did with the updating the health. We can say player data dot update position self dot position, whatever the position is currently equal to, just like that. Now everything should work. So if we play, you can see we can move around. Yeah. We can.
DevWorm's pretty good. You guys should subscribe.
Save. We can come down here.
Godot.
We can change up the
You're
health,
into Godot.
and we can click load.
He's got good explanations.
Well, it's gonna load. The health works, right? Load, load, load. But the position isn't working. So how or we have something going on that we messed up on that isn't updating how it should be. So now we can go through and we're going to have to figure out exactly what's going on. Okay, so it was a very easy fix. We just never ended up calling this function. So we never update it. So whenever we load the data, we want to call the start function, right? We want to, whatever we want to the player to do the moment we load the game, we want to actually call that function so it loads it. So when we go around, we can move. We can change up the health. Health is 120 now, and we were located. We can just save it here. Then we can go up here. We can minus health. We click load, and it's going to take us back. It's going to take our health back, right? So if we make the health different, and we move around, and we click load, it's going to go back 120 health in the exact same position. And that is how you create loading in Godot. And that is how loading and saving works with the resource, and that is how simple it is. As you can see, the only thing we really changed is we created a resource script here, which is going to have different export variables. And let me explain how this works, right? So we have the resource, which has our variables for our player, which is going to be our player data, and we have two functions that update these variables.
Right, so control node. That holds the data, basically, in the script.
Inside of it. In the player script, the only thing we do is, instead of having our own variables up here at the top, we have variables that are accessed that are pulled from that script. So we only get variables from that script, like the speed, the health, the position when we update it, right? So everything's pulled from that script. So we save that script, we load just that script. So when we play it, we're going to load in that script, and then we're going to automatically pull all the variables just like this throughout the code. So it's very, very modular, and it works very smoothly. So that's kind of how the saving is going to work. And as you can see, it was pretty simple. We only added what? maybe 50 lines of code total throughout the entire game, maybe 50. And we have load data, process function, start load, save, and that is all we have, except we have to change this up, right? We have a couple variables, we have these two, and down here we changed up this so we can call the change health function inside of our player data script. But that's all we had to change in this entire game. So if you want to check out this, it's going to be linked in the below for free download on itch, and this will be very, very beneficial to you. I think it's going to be a very helpful project to go look through yourself and
This
to
guy's
see exactly
awesome.
how everything works. And if you're
Give
having
him a
any
sub.
issues, then please let me know in the comments down below. But
Definitely
thank you
should be
so
bigger.
much for watching. I really do.
I mean, he's getting more and more views, right? So that's good. Yeah, he's getting like thousands of views. But like, this is a niche community, right? At least for now. I actually kind of want to watch some of this stuff. Go from idea to complete game development. It's kind of interesting. It's only 3 minutes. How to come up with unique game ideas. Huh. These are some interesting things. I'll tell you what, I'm going to turn on one and go get some coffee. So I'll be right back. Yeah, let's watch some DevWorm videos. Sounds good.
Hello, so coming up with a game idea is one thing, but taking that idea and turning it into a game is, well, hard. And today I wanted to create a video and hopefully simplify this process and increase your chances of turning that wonderful idea you have into that full-fledged game. So subscribe to help other aspiring game developers. Once you have that idea, work on these simple aspects of the game first. Or in other words, work on what you're good at. If you're an artist, then make the main scene art, then make the player art, put them together and see how they look. Or if you're better at development, then develop some of the basic features and see how they work together in a simple prototype. But you need to start somewhere, and instead of figuring out where to start, just start. Now remember, you may finish this prototype weeks down the line, but you have to focus on not rushing. The game won't be finished tomorrow, and every mechanic needs to be well thought out so everything comes together exactly how you want it to in the end. But once you finish this prototype, you need to grab a paper and create a plan. What can I add next? What does this prototype need to make it better? But ask yourself questions like this and understand what is going to make that game into the game that you envisioned in your head when you thought about the idea. Okay, so storytelling. Everyone knows that in almost every game, the storytelling is one of the aspects that make those big games so enjoyable. Whether it's a complex story like Red Dead built by a team of 2,000, or a simple, relaxing, but still really good story built by just one guy, like we see in Stardew Valley. The story is important, and this is again something that needs to be planned and well thought out. Well, grab a basic story plot chart and plan the major events. Zoom in and break it down more, open up a Word doc and jot down events that need to occur to make the story more entertaining for the player. Fill in a couple blanks on the basic plot chart, and well, boom, the base of your story. Don't be afraid to get feedback and see what others think of this, and don't ever be afraid to change it up. This will be changed, of course, at some point later down the road to fit how the game is coming together. Never stop thinking about the story, but don't overthink, because always remember you can move things around in the end, and I'm sure it will come out exactly how you want it to. Okay, so again, you cannot be afraid to ask for help. I repeat, you cannot be afraid to ask for help. A lot of people are afraid, and well, we're in the day and age with a wonderful thing called the internet where we can get any information at our fingertips. If you need anything Godot related or anything related really, then it's just one Google search away. If you are stuck, then ask. Whether this is from someone on Reddit, Discord, but if you want to ask me anything, then feel free in the comments of any video and I'll be sure to get back to you to help you to the best of my abilities. Also, always be open to learn new ways to go about things. You can always improve your game dev skills, and learning or observing how others go about things might just be one of the most beneficial ways to improve your own skills. So basically, don't be afraid to ask for help and always be open to learning new things from others. Okay, so this is basic, but organization. Everybody knows how important organization is, but nobody really explains it or knows how to stay organized. And yes, like you've heard before, this and consistency might be the most important things to finishing your projects. I've created a complete video on organization during game dev, so you can check that out right here. But for this video, I'll just keep it simple and tell you that I recommend creating a Trello board. Some use Notion or some other
I have one of those.
but I believe Trello is hands down the best for having a to-do list for game development, as you can create cards and break those cards down into tasks. Remember,
It's pretty good, and the free version is fairly good. So I agree.
don't work on too much at once. Finish a task and move on. Don't get stuck on the task for weeks and weeks and weeks. Because remember, you can always come back and you can always tweak it, but never ever work on more than one task at once. And lastly, you need to analyze. If you play video games, don't just play to play, but play to analyze. well, this is going to take away from the gaming experience. And well, it could, but it doesn't have to at all. Just play said game as you usually would, but try and understand how the game is put together. Why did the developer create this in this way? And if you end up finding something that would look amazing in your game, then write it down and come back to it when you are developing.
I need to play
Overall, just stay
Celeste
consistent,
and the
always
Hollow
learn,
Knight.
Plan well, organize, don't rush, and never ever be afraid to ask for help. Hope you were able to find something helpful in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you need any help within the Godot engine, then please let me know. Until next time, stay safe and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.
Okay. A lot of clickbait on here. Sorry. All right, guys. It's been an awesome stream today. We figured out some really cool stuff. We're back. We are so back into game development. Okay. I think maybe I will just be streaming game development because it seems to go a lot better. I get more viewers and I like it. I just need to remember that. I'm always like, oh, it's easier to just play video games. It's like, yeah, but it's boring. I mean, it's not boring to play a video game, but like, people don't like watching it for obvious reasons. But I will be back tomorrow with more Godot game dev. Okay, I promise. We're going to be doing more of that and less gaming. Because let's face it, there's a lot of competition in playing games. I'm definitely not the most entertaining person, but I can be moderately entertaining when we're doing game dev. So let's do that. Anyways. So let's get going. Thank you, everybody who came. My name's Tony, and this is Red Cyber Dragon, and we're gonna raid Pirate Software right now. So let's get ready. All right, here we go. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow.